as Elmer Fudd would say, weird, weird wine. I just spent 2 or 3 hours watching, when you get older, you tend to, it's amazing. I mean, for years and years and years, it was this and that and everything else. But as you get older, you keep going further and further back. So I'm 71 now. So if you reverse those numbers, you get 17. That's me under the influence of the Beatles in 1966. And I must admit, I've never been the biggest Beatle fan in the world. But weird, weird wine. Yeah, I've been watching all these best to worst AC/DC albums all afternoon. Because I thought I've got one single. It's a long way to the top with "Can I Sit Next to You, Girl" on the B side. It's pretty good. I didn't buy it at the time. Just one I found somewhere. I don't think I've even played it. I've always tried to like AC/DC, but I just don't. I mean, Slade were doing that before then. With a better singer actually. When I hear Bon Scott, I hear Alex Harvey from the Alex Harvey band. Everyone goes on about AC/DC being an Australian band. Sure, they spent time here, but the three of them, they're all Scots, the three main ones, Bon Scott and Malcolm Young and Angus Young. And Bon Scott's been dead for 42 years. Malcolm Young has been dead for about 5 or 6. Alex Harvey's another Scotsman. He's been dead for, Christ, probably 40 years too. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm brain dead from listening to AC/DC albums. Oh, and people reviewing worst. I've just sat through about 20 worst to best AC/DC albums. And there's some guy in Israel with one of those skull caps on, and there was some bloke. I just subscribed to his channel because I don't know. He could be a good bit of fun, but I don't know what he is. But they all seem to really like AC/DC. I don't get it. I really don't. And 1974 they started. I mean, for crying out loud, there was Roxy Music. There was so much good stuff going on. The Phonograph Generator was reformed. I mean, AC/DC. But I guess, I saw Slade and Status Quo at Randwick Racecourse back in the early 70s. I was 21 and I took my 14-year-old girlfriend along. No, she wanted to go. I didn't. And I felt so embarrassed because here's all these like 14, 15-year-old kids, and I'm like 6 foot, and they're all like 4 or 5 foot, and the band and Slade and that weren't very tall. I felt like I stuck out like a sore thumb. I'm standing there, but it was bloody good. I mean, I had the Status Quo's first single, "Pictures of Matchstick Men," which I sent to my friend Matthias in Germany, and I had the mono single, and it sounds great. It's one of the best um, pop, psych, pop, whatever you want to call it, singles ever. And the mono mixes absolutely kicks butt. Um, yeah, but after that, they just became a boogie band. But it was great. I mean, you can bet your bottom dollar that in that crowd there were 14 and 15-year-old Angus and Malcolm Young were going, hey, here's an idea. We take status quo and slow it down a lot, which is a big mistake to me because status quo were ripping off old rips, and riffs and speeding it up so you didn't sort of, you know what I mean, you didn't notice it. But they went the other way and slowed it down. So to an old guy like me, AC/DC were just, you know. But Slade, I've never bought a Slade record, but I quite liked them, and they're bloody great live. So how do I get onto that? Yes, I've been watching all these damned people going on and on about sitting through 10 or more reviews of. I did have one AC/DC album. I just remembered. I had the Australian copy of 30 Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. I didn't buy it at the time, but I did buy it a couple of decades later. I played it and I thought, good. But there's one really great track on it called Ride On, written by Bon Scott. It's really terrific. Sort of like a slow blues, not a real blues, but the quintessential version of that is the Beasts of Bourbon off their unbelievably sleazy, fantastic album, The Low Road from 1991. Tex Perkins and the gang. What an album. Fantastic. The only problem with it is you can't crank it up loud enough. The CD, and they go for a bomb now. I've got the original from 1991 on Red Eye Records label, but they go for a bomb now. But the thing is, you want to crank it up and up, but you just can't crank it high enough. It's a killer album, and they do a killer version of Ride On by Bon Scott. So so that's AC/DC out of the way, I think. Yeah, and the Beatles and the Stones were great back then, but as you get older, you go back to what really turns you on. And I'm just getting back into old musicals from the 1950s, and the Beatles and the Stones sort of ruined things in a way. Because the first Beatles album, half the tracks are girl group songs, and they're the best tracks on the album. Please Mr. Postman and all that. So I'm just going to show. I've actually been through all my thousands of CDs today, and I have just about all these great tracks from these girl groups on 45s, but God help me, I'm not going looking for them. But I do have the best of the Shangri-Las. Now just listen to this track listing, I better hurry up. Remember Walking in the Sand, their first single. Leader of the Pack, their second single. Give Them a Great Big Kiss, I think it's their third. Out in the Streets, I think this is, in order. Out in the Streets, Give Us Your Blessings. Heaven Only Knows. Yeah. Oh, then there's a lot of tracks that were sort of not great, and then they sort of made a bit of a comeback with their last single, Past, Present and Future, which is just a Mozart or Beethoven sort of melody with the lead singer, somebody voice, just talking, Genius stuff. Shadow Morton production. Of course, the last I heard of Shadow Morton was he produced the first Vanilla Fudge album, which is a freaking masterpiece. And then the best of the Ronettes. This is the stuff I really love. Truly, I mean, you know, if you're a bloke, you want to hear a sexy woman's voice, not a bloke, because you might sort of go a bit weird or something. Be My Baby. Well, Brian Wilson's favourite song of all time, and I wouldn't argue. Baby, I Love You. Great track. The best part of Breaking Up. Man, I really like that. Love that. That's almost my favourite. And Walking in the Rain, the original version. The Walker Brothers, hey, Walking in the Rain, the Walker Brothers. I never thought of that before. How odd. But the Walker Brothers version is huge. You know, it's a massive production. These are produced by Phil Spector, of course. But Phil's fairly subdued on this one, Walking in the Rain. And the Walker Brothers gave it the Phil Spector treatment without Phil Spector producing it. I love them both equally. They're both great. So there's only about 3 Ronettes tracks that really turn me on. There's at least half a dozen of the Shangri-Las. And this one's an absolute ripper CD. Leaders of the Pack. Better hurry up. Martha Reeve and the Vandellas, Dancing in the Streets. The Supremes, Baby Love. Oh my God. Betty Everett, It's in His Kiss, the Shoop Shoop song. The Shangri-Las. Little Eva, The Locomotion. The Chiffons, Sweet Talking Guy. Leslie Gore, It's My Party. The Shirelles, Will You Love Me Tomorrow. Mary Wells, My Guy. The Crystals, Da Do Ron Ron. The Chiffons, He's So Fine, which poor old George Harrison inadvertently ripped off and made into My Sweet Lord. The Supremes, Where Did Our Love Go? Oh, that's my favourite Supremes track. And okay, Shangri-Las, Dixie Cups, Chapel of Love. The Chiffons, One Fine Day. Sorry, that's the one that George Harrison. Well, hang on. He's so fine. No, that's My Sweet Lord. But the Chiffons, One Fine Day is almost like that too. The Crystals, Then He Kissed Me. Oh my God. The Angels, My Boyfriend's Back. This is a superb collection of girl group tracks. So, Red Wine. So, yeah, unfortunately, Ronnie just died recently. 2 of the girls out of the Shangri-Las, one died of a drug overdose at the age of 21. 2 of the Ronettes are dead. Ronnie Bennett died this year or last year from breast cancer, and her sister, who was in the band, died of colon cancer a few years back. It's all very sad, but these are the songs that I truly love, because when these came out, I was prepubescent and just on the, getting into it. So, whatever. I'm not depressed. I'm glad I'm glad I'm still alive and being able to listen to what I love. Okay, take care now.